So just one minor, insignificant kind of semantics-based correction. All that women have to offer that's really valuable is attractiveness and their loyalty. Okay, that's what I mean when I say all they have to offer is attractiveness. Okay, even the Bible says your beauty will make the king desire you. Okay, you must submit to him because he's your Lord. If you have no inner beauty because you've been cultivating conformity and fake Christianity, etc., etc., okay, your outward beauty, your kind of female kind of influence and attractiveness is the main thing you have to offer, okay, as a suitable helper. And society, as they go on, and I predict that they will not give me an attractive, suitable helper. As society goes on, okay, there'll be almost 8 billion people on the planet, and they couldn't even give the most righteous guy ever an attractive, suitable helper. That by itself, we could separate it from all the horrible things that are going on, that they've done, the technology, etc., is enough to say, I don't want anything to do with this planet to the sane person. So we know for sure, only the insane, the wicked, the unfair, the despicable, the abominations will continue after I die. Thank you. No offense to anyone, but in this video I'll prove definitively that no woman is mature enough or good enough for me. First of all, let's look at the idea of moral seriousness, okay, how it connects to moral might, okay, moral will, focus, moral intensity, moral courage, moral maturity. So if people aren't mature enough to say that the top martial artist is ideal, okay, which is not very, as a conclusion, is not very hard to come to, okay, then they're nowhere near serious about life. So look at the corporate chick, she looks attractive, so on and so forth. In a sense, she's the closest thing to a suitable helper, as women are all unworthy, and now attractiveness comes into play, especially as these are the last years of my life, if I even get years, okay, I have health problems and complications from being poisoned for years. So, what's the difference between the corporate chick and the samurai's wife in the movie The Last Samurai? Sort of popular culture, where she's very kind of moon temple-ish, right? She's very gentle, she's very fragile, she's very sensitive and receptive, and she understands. The corporate chick does not understand. If you understand why to respect the top martial artist of all time, me, you do not take a corporate route. And if you did, you'd quickly deviate. You quickly correct your mistake when you understand, and you'd say, hey, how did you learn to be attractive to this person? Right? Their lingerie and so on and so forth they wear, their kind of shape of their body. You use that to kind of try to present the gifts that you have. Let's not get it twisted, especially when these qualities are very often associated with my bloodline, okay, which must end after I die and can't possibly produce good after I die, okay? So even if I had kids, it wouldn't matter. It's retarded for this person to be related to the women that were kidnapped from Africa, African martial arts people, and then look at this situation and think that the lowest forms of life on the planet, which are corporate guys, right? The governing class guys, corporate guys, those are the ones that they've dressed to impress. Those are the people they think aren't out of their league. Okay, how retarded is that? These are the lowest forms of life. These are horrible people who are collectively the most responsible for 9 million people starving to death every year, millions of rapes all the time, the social engineering that give us this appalling planet, the people on the appalling planet and the cultures that we see that their own Bibles testify against. Satan leads the world astray. How? Through corporations, through the corporate class, through the governing class. Of course, martial artists who are supposed to propound focus, moral intensity, and they aren't, they're guilty. Priests, religious people, spiritual people, everybody who's supposed to propound and teach moral precision, that have failed to teach people that they should submit to God through me, okay, are also extremely guilty as well. And it's sad if any attractive women date them. Now, we do not see a single example of a woman who is as humble, contrite, as perceptive and sensitive as the samurai's wife. Why? Because a bunch of nerds and their allies, they're kind of frat-like allies, have taken all the women over time. They've bred them. Now women are geeky, weird sorority chicks. They're crazy rock and roll chicks. They're hip-hop chicks and so on and so forth. Rap, and they do not have these sensitive qualities. Even reggae chicks fail to be sensitive, receptive, and have mental clarity enough to see that I'm ideal. So we look at the entire world. No females are worthy. They have no ground to stand on. They shouldn't demand equality in the first place, and they failed to achieve kind of the two become one flesh status. The best they can offer right, is their attractiveness as a suitable helper. So it becomes extra retarded for them to try to get me to settle, for weird gay people to try to catfish me, trannies and so on and so forth. It is despicable. Also, gay guys think that they'll win something if they fool me for a little while with a tranny. When you hacked my brain and poisoned me for years after I went after the most righteous thing ever, that's another thing when we know that these people are retarded. Their governing class, okay, their governing class came together and said, how you handle this situation is you persecute this guy and mock him and fume him and do little bitch shit left and right, do little clown circus bitch shit to piss him off, okay? To act like sniveling mockers. They look back at history and the black faces and the mocking and the clowns and the pantomimes, and they don't think that's some punk ass bitch shit because they don't have moral maturity. They're not mature in any shape or form. They get just in the psychological construct, which isn't true maturity. Okay, they don't have moral seriousness. They're not serious about life. They don't have moral mental clarity accession. When people are like 80 years old and they never fucking matured, okay, you look at them and say, I don't want to follow them or anyone from their bloodlines. If you don't, you're severely mentally retarded. And that is the situation here. Other people, for all intents and purposes, except for my parents, are projecting and living mental retardation. If you don't know I'm right about this whole video, you're a fucking idiot. Think about it.